What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon. I'm not in a lion shirt. What's going on? Something's different, but I'm still at the setup. As you can see by the thumbnail I've done probably for the video, and it's probably going to be the same image, there is a new rugby game coming out. The guys at NACON and Eko software have done Rugby 22. So they've missed out Rugby 21. These are the same sort of people that did Rugby 20. And if you followed the channel for a long time, you know how much of an impact Rugby 20 had on this channel. I actually bought it before the channel was even made. I had got it on pre-order. I played through all the beta stages of that game, all the different phases. There were some things that were better in the beta than in the final release. There were some things that were terrible in the betas that they fixed before the final release of that game, and it's still featured really heavily on the channel. If you've ever seen any of the preview videos I've done for actual rugby, whether it be in the Autumn Nations Cup or the Six Nations, what I tend to do is I tend to chuck on a game of rugby in the background, and we pick the actual teams that are playing in real life, and then slowly we go through the teams that were actually announced in real life while you've got a bit of visuals in the background to watch some rugby going on whilst we talk about rugby. It's like the best of both worlds. And that's what I wanted to talk about today, is that they're doing another one, Rugby 22, and I'm really looking forward to this game coming out. This announcement did come out this week. They've taken over it. The Facebook page for Rugby 20 has been completely changed now to Rugby 22. They're working on it. I'm really looking forward to it. And they've put out an update on the Facebook page already to let you guys know what's going on with it. I've got it written down here. So they basically said, we're back. Rugby 20 will be coming to the PS5, the PS4, the Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, that's the important one for me because that's what I get all the gameplay on, and PC in January of 22. So if you remember back to January of 2020 was when they actually released the game fully, but they had the beta stages running through, I think, the September area of 2019, which is when I was playing the game, and it actually got officially released in the January. So I'm really looking forward to see what they do. Hopefully they do the same thing where they go through some beta stages and let you do, if you do a pre-order, you can play the game early. Time to slip in some pandering here. If anyone watching this video actually happens to be working on this game and you want someone to do some gameplay testing, you want someone to do some coverage, do some videos on it, absolutely feel free to get in contact. I will drop the channel sort of work email down there. If you want to get in contact, you want people to do some beta, maybe get some early access, get the game on the channel, because this is something that will probably be really heavily featured on my channel. I love playing the games of rugby. I love doing a series. We did do the Italy Six Nations series on the channel. That was one we did more recently that people really enjoyed, using pretty much every area of the game, doing the creation of a team, using the card system they had in the game. We organised an Italian team. We tried to make it as close to the real life Six Nations team as we could, and then we went on to play a Six Nations to see if we could win, trying to find these hard difficulties, because there were still a couple of things with Rugby 20 you'd look to improve, and I'm sure they're going to want to. Their little post carries on saying, Rugby 22 will bring a suite, or a suit, or a suite, that's an interesting terminology there, of new improvements, including more realistic AI, which will be nice to see. Some of the AI did certainly do a couple of odd decisions in game. An improved difficulty curve that adapts to the player's skill level, that will be really welcome if you're someone like me who has played Rugby 20 a lot and has got to like the level 140s or something now in that game, because I've done so many videos and different things on it. I'm now very far ahead of that game. Rugby 20 was a really nice game when you first got in. It was really challenging. It's quite an intense game when you first start. Once you get start playing a few, you start working out a few exploits, start working on some of the weaknesses of the AI, you really do sort of begin just to win every game, and occasionally just you don't even concede tries or points. So it'll be nice to see an improved AI technique. They're also going to be adding a more lifelike star player faces and more. So if anyone that played Rugby Challenge 4, I never actually picked up Rugby Challenge 4. There was a lot of images and screenshots they did of photography of players' faces looking very good, graphics looking great, but for me, I saw some gameplay of the actual thing and I wasn't super impressed with what they were doing. I was going to pick it up. I was waiting for the price to come down a little bit, and it just never did. And then they completed the game. The developers have gone on now to do an entirely different game. They sort of just left it. I think a lot of people were left a little bit wanting Rugby Challenge 4, so I never picked it up. So that's why I'm really looking forward to Rugby 22, especially they can update some of those graphics. It was probably one of the few downsides of Rugby 20 was the graphics weren't the best. My flatmate plays a lot of like Madden games, and when you go from playing like a modern Madden game to coming in and playing a bit of a rugby game, you definitely notice the graphical difference. So players looking better will be absolutely welcome in this world for me. The official teams and competitors never seen before coming into this, so not sure what they're going to do with different competitions, whether they're going to be like make your own competitions, or whether they're just going to be bringing in things like an official World Cup. I don't know. I can't remember what the thing was called in Rugby 20. It was like the World Tour or something. I don't think they were allowed to use World Cup. Not really sure about that one. But it'd be nice to see different competitions and more official teams coming in before the game of rugby. This will be the most complete rugby experience yet. So really looking forward to see where they go. I believe so far the teams have already got sort of announced. They got Japan, France, Italy and Ireland have signed up. I wouldn't be surprised if they get more. Now that they've got France and Italy international teams, no doubt they will bring in the France and Italian and Irish club level teams. So a lot of them come from, the actual French club level, but then the Italian and Ireland teams, a lot of teams there involved in the Pro 14s. I imagine once a couple of those teams get involved with the Pro 14s, other countries won't want to lag behind. They'll put their Pro 14 teams in. They'll move on to doing international. So you'll probably see Scotland and Wales and teams like that getting added in. The only teams that weren't really licensed were a lot of the Southern Hemisphere teams and the England team in the Rugby 20 game, which was a shame, but it's difficult to get all the licenses for all the teams, but I'm sure this will be a nice, complete experience. So I'm really looking forward to this. So another question I wanted to go over is, who's going to be the poster boy? I've gone for Alan Wynne. I think Alan Wynne should absolutely be this. Does Alan Wynne deserve to be the sort of poster boy for this game? Yes. Am I biased towards that Alan Wynne should be the poster boy for this game? Absolutely yes. But I genuinely think it'd be a really good call. As you know, of course, Rugby 20, the logo for Rugby 20 was rugby and then the numbers 20 were in green. The poster boy was Johnny Sexton, who also wears green for Ireland. So I think Rugby 22, the logo has already been announced that it is going to be this sort of red colour. So I think you want to have a team that's going to be red, keep that trend going. Alan Wynne Jones, the captain of a Wales team that just won the Six Nations, and then he will also go on to captain the Lions, who also play in red this year, all before this game comes out. I think it makes sense. I think it'd be fantastic to see. I'm really looking forward to see where they go with this game. This game will be featured heavily on the channel. Hopefully it is a really sound game. I'm going to be picking this up whenever it comes out on pre-order. Hopefully we can play beta. Hopefully we can get some early access. I'll be doing some coverage of it. I'm going to go through some videos potentially of things I would like to see added into the game. Some things they could probably remove from the game. Some things they could refine. So there's a couple more videos I'd like to do on this, especially as we get close towards announcements. Make sure you guys drop down in the comments what you're expecting from this game. What do you want to see? What do you want to see added in? What improvements would you make from Rugby 20? Because in all honesty, I've already had a look on YouTube. There's not a lot of videos covering this game, which is a real shame. I would love to have a bit more of a rugby gaming community. There isn't a great deal of videos online. So I think for the guys over at NACON and Eko software, I think they would like to actually be able to look at these videos, go through the comments and see what their actual customers want. I think this would be a great way to give back to those actual software developers, give them a bit of free marketing, a bit of sort of response from the consumer. Put it down in the comments what you guys want to see from this game and help them make a better game, because I think it'd be fantastic. It's been so long since we've had a really solid, all-round, decent rugby game, and I think this could be the way. And like I said earlier on, if anyone happens to watch this video that is working on this game and wants to get in contact, I will drop that email down in the description. Get in contact with me, because I would love to be a part of this. I think it's awesome. I've always wanted to be part of a rugby game, whether it be in terms of development, just doing some gameplay coverage, actual gameplay testing, some early access, some beta work. I would love that, and I cannot wait for this to come out. But I hope you've all enjoyed today, guys. I'm really looking forward. I'm really excited. I'm so glad there isn't a lot of rugby news to talk about, and this has made my week absolutely. I hope you've all enjoyed today, guys. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.